So in the second part of our Prusa i3 MK2 build, we're going to start working on cutting the threaded rod and the polished bars to the correct size. Now that has become a little bit of an issue, but not too bad. So everything's in millimeters, and of course, like I mentioned, I'm in the US, and to find a metric ruler has become next to impossible for me. So I have gone through all 12 of my rulers, and not one of them has metric on it. I do have some short rulers that have metric on them, but nothing that fits the sizes of the metrics needed for this project. So I've converted them all into inches. I know that's not the way to go, but that's what we're doing. So I'm going to tape all these off, mark them, and then take them out and put them on the bandsaw and cut them all to length. And hopefully everything will work out. Probably cut them and then grind the edges just a little bit to get them smooth. I don't know how precise everything needs to be, but that's where we're going to start at. So let's go ahead and get started. I got to get all this tape off of here and get everything marked precisely and get going. But I'm going to need a pen, and I'm going to need some kind of knife. So I'm going to grab that and I'll be right back. Okay, lucky as it was when I was looking for the pen and the knife, I also found one of my cheapest rulers that I have. It's a Harbor Freight Special. In fact, it looks like it's coming unscrewed here. And it does have the millimeters in it. So that's kind of cool. I can go ahead and use the actual millimeters, and hopefully this ruler is accurate. Let's go ahead and get these cut off. Oh, missed a little piece there. Not sure I'm even in frame. Oh, yeah, I am. Okay. So we'll clean them up a little bit afterwards. We just need to get them off so we can measure from the ends without having them get in the way. That didn't work so well. So while I'm cutting these, note, I did think I was going to be able to get by with the 1/4 inch 6/32 screws. I think that's going to be these. Yeah, I did think I was going to be able to get by with the 6/32 screws for most of my 3mm screws, but that did not work out. So we are going to have to get those in. I went ahead and placed an order, and because I went to the hardware stores around here, a couple of them, Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware. Those are our main stores. Those are Menards as well. I did not get to Menards. They may have carried it. I don't know. And they all had 3mm screws, but you bought them in either a 2-pack or maybe a 4-pack. And when you're dealing with 25 screws each you need, man, that gets up there fast. It's like $3 for a 4-pack of screws. So even though ordering them locally may have been a benefit, in Germany, in my town, not a benefit at all. In fact, the cost was so enormous, I actually started putting them all together and got so many together and ended up the price. It was pretty steep numbers after I got all the screws I needed. And watching the last video of Tom's, his most recent video, he also had to get some 25s instead of just 10, 18, 20, 30, and 40. I think I may have added one in there, I'm not sure. But he added some 25s in this last step, or he said we'd cut down our 30s, which I did not order the 25, I don't think. I may have ordered the 30s and just got a 25-pack of those, because I don't think we needed 25 of those anyway. So that's what I did. I went ahead and ordered them online, and I know that's going to cost me in shipping, and I ordered them from China as well, or AliExpress, wherever that ends up being. So actually, I think I did get them on eBay, not AliExpress, and that is the first time I did not use Tom's links to AliExpress. I had been out and about and searching, but I did try to, whenever I bought something from AliExpress, I did try to use his links, or Amazon. I think it was Amazon. But just to give him, a little kickback on whatever I purchased, since he did put together this whole video for us, and I am appreciative of that. So, okay, we got all the tape off. Now let's go ahead and use this ruler and measure it. I don't know about this end being a little wobbly like that, so I may start at the 1, I may start at the 3 because I can't see the 1 or the 2, and measure out from there. So let's see here. get the right rods together. These are my 8mm. So let's do those first. 8mm threaded rod. I need 4 at 205mm. So let me get my tape approximately where 205mm is, and then I'll mark the tape. I know I just took stuff off, right? Now I'm putting stuff back on. So 205 would be right. There. This may have been the only one that I could do with my little actual ruler. And that seems awful small. I gotta take a look and see what this part does, because that seems really small. What is something that big going to be good for? Oh, you know what? This is the cross 205mm. What is this part? Let me think about this for a second. So this is the cross part. I'm going to hold this up to the frame real quick. I just feel like that's really short, but yeah, okay. It's longer than the frame, so it just looks short, I guess. So fine. I got to get 2 of those out of this. What I'll do is I'll cut one, then I'll cut the other. Maybe I'll cut from the 2 different ends. That's what I'll do. Because once I'm having to use both of them, I can't get all of it out of. I don't think I could even get. I might be able to get 3 of them out of this one piece of steel here, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and cut the ends off and use the ends. That doesn't help me. So 205 would be right about there. Nice and snug. Oh, I did. Okay, so I did 2 there, and then I'll do 2 here, and that won't change. So I'll just tape those on. Oops, missed. And this is just a rough spot, so I can mark them with a pen and get a little closer, and then I'll take them out onto the electric bandsaw and cut them from there. Let me do a little zooming in here. I don't know if you guys can see any of this anyway, but so I'm lining up with my metric side of the ruler. This is actually working out kind of nice that I had this. I'm on the 2, so because I'm on the 2, I'm adding 2 centimeters. 320mm would be right here, but add 2 to that, and it'd be at 34 centimeters, 340 centimeters. And I was off a little bit. Let's check. Yeah, I'm off. I don't like that. I'm going to put a line through that and cross that one out, roll it over, and try again. I guess I moved my tape measure as I was going. Put a new line. Nice, neat line. Not perfect, but it'll work. Flip it over and do the same on the rest of these. So we'll get all 6 of these marked up, and then we'll go out and do the cutting. Alright, we've got all our rods cut and to size. A little bit cleaned up as well. These had those stickers on them that I tore off early on, and got a little goo gone and cleaned up the sticker part. And as I was doing that, I noticed that there's a few rough spots on my rods where they've been scratched up, I guess, in shipping or something. I didn't buy them. I got them from a hardware store. But like 2 of them have a little bit of rough spots. I don't know if that will. This one you can't feel. And this one you can't feel, but there's a little bit of a rough spot there. And this one I can really feel. It actually kind of is engraving into it a little bit. I can kind of hear it on my fingernail there, I guess. So we'll see how that does. I do have the bearings here, and they are sliding smooth. They have a little bit of play in them. I'm not sure if that's going to be visible on camera. Kind of hear it. So, but they're really smooth, simply no tension at all. Not sure if it's a bad thing or a good thing. I may have gotten the wrong size rod. Hoping that my having the two pieces here just slightly off maybe from each other will make up for some of that tension. I don't know how that'll work. We'll see. And you know, I have two of them together in the well, I don't have the parts out, but in the print heads and all that, so we'll see how that works. They're a little looser than I'd like, so I'm hoping that they hold tight enough. These may not be 100% 8mm rod. In fact, I have a caliper here. Not the greatest, it's a cheap caliper. In fact, my battery may be dying. Nope, 0, okay. Well, 8.01. It depends on where I hit it at. 7.95, 7.86. So yeah, there's a little bit of variance in these rods. They're not 100. 7.85, 7.87, 7.85, 7.87, 7.89 millimeters. So, and that's inside. The tips were a little further out. I don't know. We'll have to see. 7.9 if I hit the tip of the caliper. So the caliper's not great. We'll just have to see. And earlier I mentioned I was cutting 8mm rods, threaded rods, and 10mm threaded rods. That was an incorrect statement. I am actually cutting 5/16 and 3/8 rods. I keep calling what Tom was calling on his video, but I did change it up to the style that I have. I've already threaded a nut onto each one of these, just to make sure my ends were cleaned up. And oddly enough, the ends that I cut and ground down were fine. It was the factory end, the ones that were kind of rough, and I had to kind of put the nut in the vise and turn it in and out a couple times to get it to where it would go in to the factory end, which I guess means that it had been sitting on the end, you know, in a bin somewhere and getting scratched up. But it's working now, so that's the important part. So all of our rods are cut, threaded and unthreaded. I have the nuts and bolts for this part of the build, and washers. So that'll be I got some of those. I don't know if I have the large fender washers that go up against I probably bought 2 large fender washers, or 4 large fender washers, but I'm not seeing them right now. Oh, no, they're out in my garage. I didn't buy them. I had some. So I need to grab those large fender washers, and then I think we're going to be good to go here. So we'll get that going, and we'll start making our base. Still haven't cut the 5mm rod. Don't know what size to cut it to. I got to figure that out. And still haven't cut the board down. So this is where we are right now. We're going to start building the base and getting that going with these parts. So that'll be in this video coming up here shortly. Alright, we're going to get started here. It's very hard for me to do close-ups with only one camera, so I'm going to try and do what I can here, and then I'll take some pictures as I go. For starters, I'm not going to show the whole build in the video. It would take way too long to show it all, and Tom already has a great video showing his entire build, so I don't want to repeat that. I really just want to talk about what was different between what I found in the U.S. and what he found in Germany, and things that might come across to me as odd. So I don't have all fender washers. I have 4 main fender washers, which are for clamping onto this board here. And the rest of my washers are just a standard flat washer. So we're going to go ahead and start the build. And I'm using the build from Prusa in the process here. And I've got the parts out for step A, the Y-axis part of the build is the parts that I will need. My corners, a motor Y-mount. This is the belt, which I did get finally. and the idler. No, I'm sorry, this is a belt pulley thing. I don't know what it's called. But we're going to go ahead and get started with this build, and I'm just going to lay it out in the fashion they have it on the image here on Prusa's website. So that is, I need to X out of that and see if that was, boy, why don't you blow them up? Ginormous. Was those 10 millimeter? Yeah, we're doing the 10 millimeter, which is 10 is the 3/8. So I got 3/8 here. And there was some need for skinny nuts, and I had bought one bag of the 3/8 skinny nuts. But I don't have as many as I probably need. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I do. So yeah, they're skinny. They're not that skinny. They're skinnier than these are by about an eighth of an inch. So we'll go ahead and do as best we can to keep that as close as we can. Okay, so it is nut, washer, 3/8. My 3/8 washers. Nut, washer, part, washer, nut. And those can be the big ones, I think, no problem. In the center, you really need to use the thin ones, I think. And then nut, fender washer, two nuts. And I think these are all the skinny nuts here. I'm not sure why, that's what I show in the picture. I kind of get the idea anyway. They may all be skinny on his, but I'll go with this route for now. And then nut, washer, part, washer, nut, and what would be an M10, but for me is 3/8. So I need to put all that together. And there are a few little stipulations. There is a point where it needs to be 100 millimeters from the one end, and I am missing the power supply mount. I think Tom was missing his as well. We're going to go ahead and do it the same way he did it, because I don't know what kind of power supply I'm using. I think I'm using a computer power supply. I don't think it's going to mount anyway. So we're going to do this. We'll put it together. We'll do both sides, and we'll get back. I have completed the M10 threads, nut, washer, y-axis, washer, nut, double fender washer here. This is actually the part that will mount onto the board, and then come down here, nut, washer, part, y-axis, washer, nut. And I haven't tightened anything up yet, so it's all kind of loose. I just got it together. And now I'm going to go through the process of building the other side. We'll go through here as this. So we'll start working on building those parts now, and I'll bring you back once I get that somewhat built and ready to go and all put together. So when we're done, we'll have something that looks similar to this. Alright, we'll bring you back in just a minute once I start putting some of those together. Okay, I've gotten pretty far since my last one. All my corners are in. I don't know which rod's going here. I guess I shouldn't have tightened this down until I found out, because I'm a little concerned I tightened it down too early. That's way too long to be the one. And that's pretty short to be the one. Those do not fit in there. Holy cow. I have to do a little shaving. Okay, so I've got to figure that out, and then I probably have to pull these in to fit that rod. It looks like that's the closest one that's got a little bit of play. I'll have to get to that part in the video. These long ones must be the Z's, and the short ones must be the X. We'll find out. I don't know which one's which right now. I haven't gotten to that part yet. But I do have this all kind of tightened up. I mean, I don't have this tightened yet because that actually mounts to the frame right here and here. And these little clamps lock onto here, and I don't want to do that until I cut this off, and I haven't gotten the cut done yet. So we have to get that. But I got this ready. I haven't tightened this down yet, this little idler bar here, because I don't know exactly how to center that up just yet. So I want to get there, and I don't know too much about this one down here yet. So that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm going to stop this video with the build I have here. It's kind of balanced, you know. It'll get there. And this part is where the band goes back and forth between here. And I don't have any motor mount bolts yet, so I can't go any further until those bolts arrive. They have shipped, and they should be here soon. So that's where we are right now. We'll go further in the next video and see how we get. How far we get in the next video. Hopefully we can cut this in the next video and get that ready too, and have a definite what we're going to do with our motors by then. Alright, we'll catch you in the next one.